Here's the thing, though. If all three of them are moving, why don't 3 people get killed every night? Or do they have, like, a crisis of conscience, and they're like, which one of us is gonna kill somebody? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Gnosia. We come back, as we always do, with notes, comments, and a board. So let's go ahead and pop into that board real quick, where I have the board changelog, where in Loop 10, Comet and Shigemichi were marked as frozen. Stella, Remen, and Yuriko, and Jonas were marked as eliminated. Added the guard duty role and gave Kakushra and Remen it. Gina, Chippy, Comet, and Otome marked as Nasia. Stella marked as the guardian angel. Marked Shigemichi as the engineer. I marked Rakio as the doctor. Added a new status, froze eliminated, which might only apply to Loop 10. I marked SQ, Setsu, Rakio, Sha-Ming, and Yuri as froze eliminated. And then we began Loop 11, which of course I said before I included all the characters until we find out how many characters are actually here. And I marked Comet as the Nasia. I realized I might have been wrong at the end of the episode, trying to guess what was happening. I think that I said that I thought it was going to be an all Nasia round, right? Like, if you're familiar with I Am Legend, where there's going to be like 2 people and everyone else is going to be an Nasia. I think, obviously, when I'm rewatching it to take the notes, what's going to happen is that Yuri and Comet, and maybe other people, depending on how many people are the Nasia this time, they're just the Nasia. That Comet was acknowledging, hey, fellow Nasia, if you will. So, yeah, I think I just wildly overestimated, probably off of the hype of what the hell was going on at the end of the last episode. Anyway, as I said, have notes. Hopefully, future me, I'm talking to you, because I do the editing, so hopefully you remember to include this image down below when you're doing this. Looking at the key at the start of the episode, I decided to try and figure out how far along we are on filling it up. I took the image of it being held, flipped in the center to try and make it easier to see, then placed lines equidistant to one another to make a measuring device. The filled edge of the key reached a little over 10 out of the 41 bars that I put in there, so it's about 24% full. Since we got the key at the end of episode 1, and this measure is from the start of episode 7, that is 6 episodes worth of progress, meaning we've filled the key about 4% each episode. If that rate stays consistent, we'd need 19 more episodes to fill it. If we look at loops, we discount the first loop for the same reason, and since the episode starts on loop 10, we cannot count that one yet, so about 8 loops worth into the key, meaning about 3% fill per loop. That'd mean we could expect around 25 more loops if the rate remains constant. At the same time, Setsu has been in this for hundreds of loops, I believe they said, so clearly there is no expectation for the rate to stay the same. That, or they were just worse with people, and Yuri is doing a better job of it. Comet, who was a Nasia, was voted out day 1. Great call, considering that there would have been no info to go on, but just straight up 15 people interacting with one another. On the other hand, knowing how these people act, I bet Stella outed themselves as the guardian angel during that day, as they got eliminated that night. Since 2 people would each be claiming doctor and engineer, if that trend stands anyway, then that would leave the guardian angel as the odd man out. At the same time, taking a hit for the team is still an effective use of the role. Day 2 went downhill with the engineer Shigemichi getting sent to be frozen, and then Jonas being eliminated as a knight, with the only small victory being that he had no role. This leads into episode proper, where we have 11 characters remaining, 3 Nasia, 2 guard duty, and a doctor, meaning at worst case scenario, 3 days of votes remaining. New role though, guard duty, consisting of people who were already on the ship when the outbreak happened and thus cleared of being infected. So many things about this role that messes with me. Considering that roles are singular, it seems obvious to me that a guard duty person would never be an engineer, a doctor, or a guardian angel. Why that messes with me is that a confirmed clear human is exactly the person you'd want in those roles, eliminating the double up that happens on day one and getting rid of that confusion. I understand it as a game mechanic, but the show has yet to explain how roles are given, and thus hasn't explained why they are exclusive. I've already given my opinion on the fact that they have to be Levi-given roles, as they allow interaction with the ship's systems. It would make no sense to me for them to be roles these people had outside of the ship that then gives them ship access, especially with the knowledge that we got the DKO as a super old ship that Jonas got and got Levi for. So it's just the element of the world building we've got doesn't seem to fit into the game mechanic that I feel is on display. And I said there was a number of things. I didn't write it down, but the element of how the Gnosia infect people is still at play for me. Because what you guys have told me in comments is still kind of different from what SQ described in episode 1. And then there's the element of, is there always going to be 2 guard duty people, or is guard duty going to fluctuate the same way that the number of Gnosia do? I don't remember if I ever asked this before, but if a doctor can confirm if someone is a Gnosia or not from the people that get frozen, then why don't we ever wake people back up? I think this is an episode that showed us that getting woken up is a possibility. I can see the normal response being that you might not want to risk the chance of dying in the middle of warp after you are safe in cryo. But it seems also fairly implied that what's going to happen to you if the Gnosia wins. I can't imagine them not doing the same thing that Kukushra was doing. Also, dying in the ship's self-destruction. Better to have a chance. Plus, it'd be good to have a guaranteed human back in to vote. Could also extend the game for at least one day if it comes down to the wire. If you're at a vote and there's an equal number, or at the end of the vote there will be an equal number of humans to Gnosia, then that's an auto lose for you. So adding a human back into the numbers would buy you an extra day. Was Levi messed with from the start? Is that the reason why, after not freezing someone on the 3rd day, the ship didn't self-destruct? Or is it a loophole in the negotiated rules with Levi that a vote has to happen every day, but the actual results of that vote don't actually need to be obeyed? I thought that the rule was somebody has to be frozen every day. But was the rule actually somebody just has to be voted on every day? Not much of a note, but Yuri really paid for his she's just a girl comment. I didn't expect him to turn out to be sexist. Especially because he's our point of view character, where he's supposed to be the everyman, really. I wonder if Otome and Kakushiro were getting along in this loop because Otome was on Gnosia, and the Gnosia can align well with this crazy killer, whatever's going on there. I mean, my expectation is that whatever's going on to Kakushiro is going to turn out to be a role, and we just didn't get revealed whatever role that is yet. Because there's always, in games like this, the outside third party, I want to win by myself role. So I can't think of any examples off my head, because the only thing coming to my head right now is Trouble in Terrorist Town, where some role packs have a third party that wins if everyone else dies, traitors and innocents included. I guess that's my only example in this part. So Yuriko could see through to whatever Kukushira was, somehow. I mean, she's got some weird powers that have yet to be explained or explored yet. I'm going to go ahead and label it as an ability for now, even though I'm hesitant to do some, mostly due to Gina. I thought Gina was an empath from the start, and she's literally done nothing of the sort since I thought of it. Kind of disappointed that Chippe didn't follow through on the "this time" slip from Yuri. Granted, it should have been easy for him to play off. Just say something like, this voting cycle or something. Still, if someone else was looping through independently of Setsu and Yuri, or whoever gave Setsu theirs is one of these people, or even if Setsu gave one to someone else and hasn't told Yuri that yet, this could be a clue to a mysterious third looper, should they exist. It's surprising that Rakio agreed to the cold sleep idea, given that they were the one that introduced the idea that not everyone wakes up from cold sleep. Now, all of a sudden, it's a good idea? They weren't even a Gnosia the time that they were objecting, so as far as I can tell, that was just a true statement that they were making. At the very least, we got to see what happens when my idea gets used, and not for nothing, would have worked had Kakushira not been a murdering psychopath this time around. And my last note, whatever Kakushira is, I hadn't considered that she killed the Gnosia too. As we know, Gina was one, and Kakushira went out of her way to space her. Interesting that Gina tried to save Yuri, though, considering the fact that she was a Gnosia, as I just mentioned. Alright, I did say that we had some comments. First up, we got Sage Bastion from Patreon, from the episode Understand, of course. They're all going to be from the episode Understand. God, I was waiting for your reactions to Gnosia. It's so interesting. I have not as much to say for this, just I was so happy that they did this event so well. In the game, it's just like 1 or 2 minutes. Oh yes, one thing. The only reason guard duty can't be infected, it's because they never leave the ship while inside the planet. Meaning Levi know they didn't leave at all the ship. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I understood the element. It's just, even I mentioned in my notes, the element of not knowing how the Gnosia infects people. Because again, I don't know why the ship is so hard up on preventing the Gnosia infected from escaping. Because I understand it's preventing murders and whatnot, right? But if the Gnosia infected don't infect people, you're not really preventing an outbreak anymore because the Gnosia infected don't infect people. So, I don't know. This seems a bit overkill now, knowing that aspect. Like, legitimately, get to the port, report that there's a Gnosia infected on board. All you have to do is one of the humans to do that, and then they lock you down and they put you into they don't put you into contamination, but they put you into a lockdown, and probably they'll have better scanners or something than whatever the ship has. Legitimately, it just seems like a better idea. Just get to where you're going. Because again, if the Gnosia infected can't infect people, sorry, I don't know where I got from here. I don't know how I got here from your comment, but yeah, totally understand what you're saying. It seems like what you guys in the comments are saying is that they're doing a really good job of translating some of the best events from the game into the anime, which I totally appreciate. Like I said, I don't know what to expect having not played the game. Next up, we got Bashir Badhesvista from, again, Understand. Also, apologies if I didn't say your name right. Regarding Otomi referring to Sha Ming seeming like a good person, whether the following is actually accurate and the case or not in universe within the rules and lore of the world of the show in terms of mechanics of how Gnosia work, which I feel like we've gotten very little of insight into. I feel like the Gnosia are viewed and treated as a separate entity entirely of their own will and consciousness, and that a distinction is being drawn between them and the original humans infected by the Gnos. Perhaps more like a split personality thing than a human becoming a vampire or a werewolf phenomenon or anything similar to that. Retaining all, or at least most, of the original human's personality traits, but still like a new other existence. So it came across to me more like Otome is referring to the original human Sha Ming that way, for resisting and even wanting the rest of them. Even wanting the rest of and informing of their Gnosia side. Sorry, I know I just messed up that whole last sentence, but I understood what you meant. In that context, Gnosia, Sha Ming, killing Gina, or anything else they did wouldn't mainly or at all be attributed to or seen as reflection on their original human selves as a person, but simply an unavoidable consequence of the infection, which no one can really resist. In other words, the Gnosia doing harmful things doesn't reflect on their, Sha Ming's, original character, but any small act of resistance on their part to sabotage the Gnosia's ability to go undetected and run free does reflect positively on them. It's also more than we've seen any other Gnosia do to this point. Setsu, as a Gnosia, has been honest with Yuri due to their shared unique situation, but this is the first time we witness a Gnosia sacrifice themselves for the sake of the whole rest of the ship. Is that true? Is that true? So I'm just going over the board here. Loop 1, SQ, no. Loop 2, Gina, nope. Loop 3, also Gina and Stella, no. Loop 4, Rakio, no, of course not. Loop 5, Rakio. Loop 6, Setsu. Loop 7, Yuriko and Chippy. Didn't Chippy sacrifice himself? Or did he not? I might just be misremembering. I could have sworn Chippy was the first one. And that's why it was very confusing to me back when Chippy did it. Anyway, I'm going to go on the record saying I think Chippy was the first one who did that. If I'm wrong, I guess correct me in the comments. Yeah, it was also my understanding that the Gnosia essentially kill the original person, and then they take all of that person and, like a body snatcher situation. That they've got all the information that made that person, and they can mimic. But they also lie. That's been a Gnosia trait from the very beginning. I don't know. I understand what you're saying, is that the element of who Sha Ming really was bleeding through, and that's why Sha Ming revealed themselves. Hold on a sec. Who was a Gnosia in Loop 10? Was it anybody that I said... See, okay, here's the argument. I believe I'm right that Chippy has sacrificed themselves before as a Gnosia, just given the game up. Chippy was a Gnosia this time. So if past Chippy was willing to sacrifice themselves because they're a Gnosia and they didn't want to see other people suffer for what the Gnosia has to do, why didn't this Chippy? Right? Let's see, who else was Gina, Otome, Comet. Yeah, no other examples in that one. But we've seen Chippy sacrifice themselves before as the Gnosia. So why not this time? Hell, Chippy was playing the game this time. He got 3 days in. Alright, and lastly we have Depression over Bone Stealing Time from the same episode, as I said. Remnant stats mentioned. Hi, I'm the same person who explained all the stats earlier. His intuition, logic, and stealth are very high, but his charisma and charm are crap, meaning he is very good at noticing when people are acting strange, but he doesn't leave much of an impression if he decides to speak up. On one hand, it's good because the Gnosia are less likely to realize that he knows who they are and eliminate him, but on the other, barely anyone listens to him or takes him seriously. I don't know how far in you'll be when you read this, but as shown in recent episodes, this detail about his character still holds true in the anime, which I think is neat. Yeah, I guess they do a pretty good job of translating what you guys are saying about the stats to how they act. Like, every time Sha Ming raises something up in the meetings so far, the one episode he's been here so far to do so, he just gets called out immediately for the bullshit that he does, although he seems pretty good at convincing everyone to give him a second chance. That seemed off the wall, and he managed it. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about that. Obviously, by the time you see or you hear this, you'll know what the time frame between me reacting to an episode and you posting yours is. Your notes are. So there you go. So other than that, I think there's nothing left to do but to hop on in and see how Loop 11 goes.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Gnosia の世界へ。Gnosia。でも僕、嘘を見破るのは得意だけど、つくのは苦手なんだ。
Comparing their own stats?
今のうちに謝っとくよ。ごめん。 僕がダメそうだったらすぐに見捨てて。
クノーシア、僕がクノーシア。
I guess you better figure out how the eye tricks work. I keep saying this. I am bad at judging when the opening is about to happen. Because I think I said before, I hate having a conversation that leads into the opening, because I like to have a little space between the opening scene and the opening itself. But yeah. Like I said, I guess there's certain skills that you have to have as the Gnosia to not fuck it up. And not for nothing, Jonas proved that you need to know when eye control is a thing. I guess this proves that I was wrong immediately when I was bringing up the, I guess I should have been able to intuit this, actually. When y'all were saying the element of Gnosia replacing you, or the Gnosia doing something to you, that I said my thought on the matter was that the Gnosia replaces you, right? That it basically destroys the person inside, and then takes all of your thoughts and your memories and everything. And they're like a simulation of you. Again, body snatcher is what I said. Well, very clearly, if Yuri is the Gnosia, he cannot have been replaced. He's the character, right? He has to be him in order to be the Gnosia and be the point of view character. The same thing works for Setsu. If Setsu was not Setsu, then who would they be in every loop afterwards?
ちなみにもう一人、シャーミンもグノーシアだよ。会議で本物のエンジニアが名乗り出た場合は、僕がもう一人の候補として名乗り出ることになってるから。
I guess y'all discussed it ahead of time.
うまくできるか自信ないけど。僕は先に行くよ。怪しまれると良くないから別々に行こう。じゃあメインコンソールで。
待って。コメットはその本当にいいのか。みんなを騙してこの船乗っ取ろうとしてるんだよ。
だよね。心が痛まないって言ったら。
It is very interesting to see that they have like doubts and fears and everything too.
こんなことになっても。
グノーシアになってもやっぱり猫になりたいって思いは変わらなくてな。
What'd I say? Chippy, first one.
これだけは約束して、その世界線での自分の役割を全力で果たして。
I hope he doesn't take Setsu's words the wrong way.
これで全員か。
It really feels like the indication here is that if we could find a way to work together, we could.
揃ったようだし始めようか。レビ。
かしこまりました。
この船に逃げ込んだのは10人。この中にグノーシア汚染された者が3人いる。
おいおい、3人もいるのかよ。
会議で1人、空間転移の時に1人消えると考えると、2日で4人が消え残り6人。グノーシアがその時点で3人残っていたら。
The math that I keep talking about. If you could figure out the math immediately, you know the maximum number of days you have.
エンジニアは名乗り出なさい。
びっくりしたことに SQ ちゃんエンジニアなのです。グノーシアなんてバンバン発見。
Well, we know she's telling the truth, or bad at the game.
名乗り出る人はいない。
おいおい、おかしいよ。この船でエンジニアは僕だけのはずだよ。
I think he's giving it away by looking at her, expecting her to say it.
グノーシアってことか。たく面倒なこった。
2人とも自然に会議に参加している。僕も何か言わないと。レビ、他にドクターや守護天使は？
はい。ドクターと守護天使が1名ずつ乗船。
You know, if I was Yuri right now, I would also claim to be the engineer, just to see what the fuck happens.
名乗り出る人いる。
ドクターが力を発揮するのは誰かがコールドスリープになってから。守護天使は名乗るリスクが高すぎる。ここで名乗り出ないのは当然だね。
留守番していた人は？
留守番されていた方はいらっしゃらないようです。
つまりこの中の全員グノーシアさんの可能性があるということなの。
Oh, to me.
それだけ特定が難しい。
Knowing that Notomi's not a Gnosia now makes me know that she's in danger.
特定のしようがねえだろう。印象で決めるしかねえんじゃねえのか。おお、糖分多すぎだろ
だとするとお前が凍ることになりますよ。
え、マジか。
実際重道の言う通りだ。
No, what I'm saying though is that
特定する材料が少ない。
taking Setsu's words from last time, we don't want to put anyone's lives in danger.
嘘は表情や仕草に出るというから、これから一人ずつこう言ってみてく
Are
れ
we
る
gonna explore the lie thing?
自分は人間だって。
いいぜ。俺はただの人間ですけど。
人間です。悲しいことに。
はいはーい、SQ ちゃん人間です。
そういうやり方は感心しないな。まあ僕は人間だから別に構わないけどね。
私、人間って言っていいのかな。でも
We established that you can. We established in another loop that you can, though. That's what I was talking about before. I said the gun can do so many different things.
ユーリ、僕はもちろん人間だよ。見破られたか、それともごまかせたのか。
僕はそんなの誰かに言わされるのは嫌だな。
拒否するってこと？
拒否するってほどじゃないけど。
まずい。
Well, I mean, you can make up the excuse that you don't identify as human because of the mold. Dang it, you could never force her to do anything. You can't touch her. The mold will kill you.
え、どうしてだよ。
本物のエンジニアが失われると人間側にとって損失だからね。賛成だ。
おお、さすがユーリンチ。これはラブの波動を感じちゃうぜ。
その方が有利に進められると思うんだ。グノーシアとの戦いを。
What I was saying before is that if the idea is we can't leave these loops without ruining these people's lives, then testing shit out while you're the Gnosia leaves the most people alive at the end, right? Of course, people still fucking voted for Akio.
すまない。けどこれが決まりだから。少しだけ。
I also just realized that we're what, 5 down? From the maximum number, I mean.
私はグノーシアに消されるぐらいなら自分で。
そんなに嫌なの？グノーシアに襲われるの。
Oh yeah. It doesn't sound like a pleasant experience. People fucking scream when the Nazi attacks. Conversely, no one screams when they get put into cryo. Oh, just another note. If Levi can hear everything on the ship, it couldn't hear them talking about being the Gnosia? By which I mean Comet and Yuri here having a conversation about being the Gnosia.
さっきは守ってくれてありがとう。マジでユーリの愛が突き刺さったぜ。
あ、いや、あれは
今晩エンジニアとして誰か調べなきゃいけないんだけどさ。ユーリンチーだったら誰調べるかなーって。どう思う？
This cameraman. This cameraman.
うまく利用すれば。
ぼーっと見つめちゃって。かわいすぎじゃね？
Should I mark that SQ has a thing for Yuri? But that's been like a thing 3 times now.
お互いグノーシアかもしれないんだ。下手な情報交換をやめよう。
そっか。じゃあ、つまんねえの。
Also, your eyes were fucking flashing. I told you to keep control of your eyes. You could have seen that.
空間転移まで残り10、9、8、7、6。
Not even taking the effort to try and not kill somebody.
音が。
パーリータイムだぜ。
Here's the thing, though. If all three of them are moving, why don't 3 people get killed every night? Or do they have, like, a crisis of conscience, and they're like, which one of us is gonna kill somebody?
あ、だからかな。ちょっと懐かしいのかもしれない。
懐かしい。
で、今日は誰消す？
乙女にしてくれねえか。
乙女？
もしかの話だぜ。俺らがミスって乙女が生き残ってもまた研究所に戻るだけだろう。実験動物としてよ。
でも乙女は研究
And she also likes it there.
なわけねえだろう。いくら知性化したって向こうにとっちゃ実験体でしかねえんだよ。用がなくなりゃぽいだ。乙女は知らねえだろうけどな。
どうするの？
I mean, that's still her will, though.
乙女にしよう。
Aw, damn it. Exactly the thing I said I didn't want.
行くぜ。
ああ、これが汚染された影響なのかな。なんとなくわかる。どうすればいいのか。
I mean, we've seen Rakio do this before. Well, shit.
どっちが残酷なんだろうな。こうやって何も知らずやられんのと自分がやられる。
They scream. I think they know. Although, technically, I say that. Yuri's been killed this way before, and he just, like, woke up. Didn't realize it. So I don't know how you're screaming, but don't know what's happening.
明日おそらく本物のドクターが名乗り出る。ユリ、おめえは説にもみんなにも好かれている。変に前に出ねえ方がいい。
じゃあ、
俺がドクターシャーミン様になってな、思いっきり引っかき回してやるよ。裏回し頼むぜ。
I guess this is also interesting, that they get a little bit extra time to strategize between themselves.
僕はどうすればいい？明日エンジニアとして報告しなきゃいけないんだけど。
そっか。
誰かをグノーシアだって言って追い込んだ方がいいのかな。
いや、ラキオもユリコもいる。下手に嘘をつくとバレる可能性が高い。明日は人間を人間と判定しよう。
いいの？
See, this is exactly what I commented about when we first met Comet. How they're kinda too stupid to come up with this shit. So now knowing that they get, like, backup from each other in the freeze time.
ほら言ったろ。僕、嘘を見破るのは得意だけど、つくのは下手だって。よかった。嘘つかなくていいならバレる心配ないもんね。じゃ。
コメット。
何？
やっぱり勝ちたい？グノーシアになっても。
僕の星では生まれた子供は環境に慣らすために。
So how long does this freeze happen? Do they have control of stopping it? Or starting it?
そこはここみたいにとても静かなところで。でも次々みんな死んでいって。
So yeah, because I mean, you get thrown into this cave to adapt to the moss or die by it. Still confusing to me how she had connections that would help Chippy out.
それを見て思ったんだ。生き残ったら宇宙を冒険しようって。それから宇宙に出るまで大変だったけどね。グノーシアになった時はもうそれも難しいって思ったけど、この宇宙船乗っ取ればまだできるよね。
Yeah, to kill people all over the universe.
そうだ。ループしてない人には。
本当？
ここは唯一の世界なんだ。この船を乗っ取って宇宙を一緒に冒険しよう。
I mean, to be fair enough to Comet,
マジで言ってる？
her skin is a deadly weapon.
ああ、言っとくけど。
Being a Gnosia is not that different for her than normal life.
僕の手下ってことで。
あ。
Never would happen though. considering that Yuri is going to loop, and looping means that he's no longer there.
反応がないようです。
守護天使がエンジェルできればよかったんだけどね。
グノーシア汚染者が残っている以上、こうなるのは分かっていたこと。
そうだね。
Oh man, how do I mark this on the board?
さて、今日はまず報告からしたい。
If Yuri and gang wins, do I mark it as a win?
節がドクターだったのか?
Or a loss?
1日目は黙っていたけどね。節がドクターか。
待て待て。本物のドクターは俺だぜ。ってことはだ、節は俺を敵に回すことになっちまうぜ。
それで全然構わないよ。
嫌われたもんだな。ま、それだけ。
I gotta say, the likability factor I feel for Sha Ming is really dropping the more he talks.
ジナはグノーシアだ。俺のセンサーはビンビンだからな。
ジナは人間だった。間違いない。
ほう。つまり2人のうちどちらかは嘘をついている。まあ予想通りではあるけどね。
2人のうち片方は嘘をついていることが確定。
I'm really glad that Rakia was starting to survive longer.
間違いなく投票される。僕が会議をうまく誘導しないと。
次にエンジニアの報告を聞こう。はいはい、 SQ 軍曹より報告します。なんと SQ ちゃんは説を調べました。
説を？結果はもったいつけないで早く言いなよ。
はっ、グノーシア発見ならず、説は人間であります。じゃあコメットは？
僕は
明日は人間を人間と判定しよう。待て、たとえ人間でもその選択をすると。
僕は
Just choose Setsu too.
説を調べたよ。
Yeah.
結果は一緒だった。説は人間で。
Oh, that's probably the wrong decision because I thought of it too.
それって
なんだ？どういうことだよ。
わからないのかい。今エンジニアは2人とも説を人間と判定したんだよ。つまり説は人間で間違いない、確定だ。ということは
シャーミンがグノーシアか。
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
間違いの可能性もあんだろうがよ。本物のエンジニアが名乗り出てない。
I forgot about who the doctor was.
だとしたらエンジニアは両方ともグノーシアということに
Oh, this is why I would fuck up.
あり得ると思うかい？
いや、でもよ。
ダメだ。ここで下手に擁護すると仲間だとバレる。
しょうがねえな。
I guess he can do it once every loop to try. See what I'm saying though? Sha Ming didn't try to get out of killing somebody, he led the effort to kill somebody. So if he's a good person, how do you explain this?
ダメだよ。
それより今は明日のことだ。
明日？
生き残って冒険するんだろ？
有利。
ドクターは明日シャーミンをグノーシアと。
Ah, man, they get all depressing, don't they?
うん。そうなるとおそらく次に待っているのは SQ とコメット、どっちのエンジニアがグノーシアなのかという検証だ。
いっぱいいろいろ聞かれるってこと？
ああ、手助けしてあげたいけど、むやみに味方して僕とコメットが。
I guess it would be a fool's gambit to try and investigate the other engineer and call the other engineer a Gnosia, right?
言っただろ。僕嘘をつくのは苦手だって。
それでもやるしかない。今想定される質問を。嘘をつくのが苦手。
それがどうかした？
ある。僕たちのミスを逆転の手札にする方法が。
Well, not really turn it around. Can't bring him back. I guess you could bring him back. You can wake up anybody up. Technically, you're trying to figure out how somebody hacked Levi before.
ドクターとしてシャーミンを調べた。シャーミンはグノーシアだったよ。
調べるまでもないけどね。
Yeah, but the doctor has only one role, and that's to... So long as we can only freeze one person at a time, the doctor can only just tell you what happened last time.
あくまで冷静にいつも通りで答えるんだ。少しでも感情的になると何か隠しているように思われる。
それに関して少し考えてみたんだけど、レビ、
かしこまりました。
これが初日と2日目の投票結果。初日に注目してご
It's
ら
been a
ん。
while since we went over the voting results.
SQ はコメットに投票しているのに対し、コメットは僕に投票している。コメットが本物のエンジニアなら、同じくエンジニアを名乗った SQ はグノーシアで確定しているはず。なぜ
Oh, that sucks. Well, does it though? They're fucking Gnosia. Also, SQ, get away from her. Her moleskin will kill you.
でもだからこそ騙せる。僕も実は同じことを思った。でも論理的に考えるとあまりにもおかしいんだ。
どういうこと？
昨日のエンジニア報告の時のこと覚えてる？あの時 SQ が説を人間だと判定結果を言った後にコメットが説を人間だと判定結果を言ったんだ。
それが
おかしくないか？あそこで説を人間判定したらシャーミンがグノーシアで確定する。
Leaning into your own stupidity as a tactic.
わざわざ自ら仲間を撃ったことになるんだ。いくらでも嘘をつける状況なのに。何か狙いがあるのかとも思ったけど、いくら考えてもグノーシア側にメリットはなくて。
つまりコメットはグノーシアではない。
となると
Nobody can calculate stupidity.
もしかして SQ ちゃん疑われてる？
SQ has like no self-preservation tactics. Oh, damn it. So what do I mark this as a win?
これでこの宇宙船はコメットのもの。
Like, whose perspective is my win-loss thing for?
そうだな。おい、手下。
Also, shouldn't the ship explode?
一緒に冒険してくれる？
もちろん。
ユーリも僕と同じだな。嘘をつくのが下手だ。
え？
見抜くのは得意って言っただろ。
この船を乗っ取って宇宙を一緒に冒険しよう。
Okay, so it's only visible from the outside. The person observing it.
どうしてそんな嘘つくの？
いや、違う。嘘じゃない。ただ、
ユーリ、好き。
Uh-oh. She gonna mold you to death?
今の嘘ってバレた？
ああ。
そうなんだよな。嘘ってわかるだけで本心はわからない。ユーリが一緒に行ってくれないことは分かっても理由はわからない。だから言うね。僕の本心。好きじゃなくて大好き。
Wow, that sucks even worse. Although, I was to say, although I don't care for the harem aspect that might be developing here. So was that like the ship warping that we saw right there at the end? Because I'm confused, because I thought the answer was going to be, if the Gnosia win, the ship explodes. Because y'all have like... Sorry, I just am a bit confused at what I feel like you guys in the comments have been telling me. Like, you say, or I brought up the idea, well, what if one of these guys is a serial killer, and they just go throughout the ship killing people? And you guys said, no, Levi would not allow that to happen. Levi would intercede and possibly destroy the ship like it's supposed to. Then legit we got an episode where Kakushra goes around killing everybody. Levi does not intercede. In fact, Levi gets shut down, thus proving you guys in the comment section wrong. I thought the whole idea was the ship will explode if there's only if there is only Gnosia left. Because that's the whole negotiation tactic. We try and solve the problem, we fail, you blow up. Well, here's the ship. 2 Gnosia on board. I thought that was the next time on thing. Oh wait, this... Wait, what? Sorry, I think my video just glitched into playing some more ending. Oh, there you go, yes. Extra 50 seconds of ending. I also just forgot, or was about to say, oh yeah, this show is not a show that has a next time on. I think we just got one last time as a shocker for the he's going to be a Gnosia thing at the end. So yeah, I guess that's just my thing. The ship didn't blow up. Unless, again, that was the indication that the ship was starting to blow up, or... Yeah, is next episode just gonna be him and Comet on an adventure? Because how does he loop at this point? Unless she kills him. Was that the indication? He's killing her, or she's killing him? I guess I'm just at a loss on this one. Maybe it's just one of those things where I'm gonna have to rewatch. Because as you all know, even at the end of the episode, I don't just go back and click through scenes that I thought were interesting and want to take a look at. That's held off for the next time, rewatch for the notes and everything. But yeah, he had glowed eyes. He looked at her when she said, didn't like you. I thought she was about to kill him, because the aspect that I keep bringing up is that Comet's mold skin thing is deadly to the touch, they kept saying. Well, you can't force her to go into a cryo chamber, I guess, because if you try to grab her, there's a possibility it kills you. Some of these things I don't think have been fully explored by the show yet, but again, I think this show is supposed to be like over 20 episodes. So the possibility always exists that whoever made the game already thought about this stuff, and that stuff you, the viewer, who have played the game, already knows about. So obviously I'm not asking you to tell me. Do not spoil. If the show has indicated an answer to my question already, and I have stupidly overlooked it, inform me on that stuff. Preferably one episode after I've made the stupid comment, because the idea is that I put that episode out there, then I come back with my notes next time, and then if I don't mention it in my notes next time, then you can tell me the stupid shit that I missed. Because you gotta give me the one episode lead up to correct my own mistakes. Otherwise, what'll happen is I'll say my notes, I'll correct myself, then I'll go to the comment response, and you in the comments will be saying a thing to correct me, and I've already corrected myself, and it will just be doubling down on I'm an idiot. So, yeah, this is a moral quandary, isn't it? The element of I'm a Gnosia, but I don't want to kill people, but at the same time, I have a duty to protect my fellow Gnosia from the element that they're still people who want to live and are just as scared as everybody else. And I think the thing I was saying in the middle of the episode is that it feels like you can just have a sit-down conversation. Hey guys, we're the Gnosia. We would like to not die. Is there something we can do? Because it's also not like what you guys were saying in the comment section, which is like the Gnosia have an imperative to kill even though they don't want to. Like, they didn't talk about it that way. They talked about it like, who are we going to kill? I guess we have to. I mean, unless it's the element that they can't get out of the warp time freeze unless they kill somebody. If that was the case, I wish they had said it. Real regrettable we had to watch Otome just fucking die. Regrettable we had to watch Otome die? I really did enjoy that we got to see their bedroom, right? Bedroom. That Otome isn't in their little suit thing all the time. They've got a room that they can swim around in. That's cute. Horrible that we had to see her die in it, though, but I guess I've figured out my own position on the element of do they know they're dying or they're not, given the fact that we saw Rakio kill Yuri in that one, and Yuri just woke up, had to figure out that he had died. So, despite the fact that they scream, I guess you can scream into a time stop and it doesn't register. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that just raised more questions, and also the element that I think we were going off of preconceptions about how the Gnosia worked that turned out not to be true by the episode. It's either that or you guys didn't explain it well enough. Like, you guys explained it in a way that I did not feel the show agreed with you. Now, if you still feel like you're right, take it to the comment section, because obviously I feel like you guys led me astray on this one. At the same time, I don't feel like That's a big problem, because that's the element. You guys are telling me what your interpretation of things are. You're telling me what you feel like from the game, and at the same time, this anime is its own beast sometimes. Because you guys already told me some things that are happening in the anime are different from what they are in the game. So that's just gonna happen, I guess. And I'm kind of disappointed they didn't go over the Kukushra thing. Like, to be fair, Kukusha wasn't here, but I kind of thought that was going to be either a role thing or something else. But then again, I guess... Sorry, I didn't check the final board, so I didn't see if there was a guardian angel and they died or something. That'll be for the notes, or the board, next time, rather. Well, sorry, I understand there's a lot to go over here, but as I've explained many times over, I'm a man of shit memory. That's why I do the notes and the board, to remind myself, so when we go to watch another episode, I can go over everything, and I'll be like, okay, this is what I need to keep in my mind for when we watch the next episode. So, the stuff that happens near the beginning, where we have all our questions about morality and ethics, and what it means to be a Gnosia in this position when you have the information of previous loops. Again, that's why I said, if you're gonna fuck around and try stuff out, do it while you're a Gnosia. Because if you fail as a Gnosia, you at most lose 4 people. Whereas if you're successful as the Gnosia, you've killed 11 people. So, I think it's better to screw up as a Gnosia. And I guess if you really want to fill out the key, you're going to have to be a Gnosia a number of times to experience what it's like to be a Gnosia with certain other people. Because some of these people could be fucking psychopaths and be completely down for the Gnosia life. Well, anyway, like I said, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, because obviously I will come back next time with a bunch of notes about the Gnosia episode. So, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?